We are currently live on Twitch.
Yeah.
Filthy Questline.
Yes.
Woo woo! And we are here today in our Tuesday tabletop time slot doing something a little bit different. We're going to do Session 0, and we're going to talk about some characters coming up for the new Altero campaign. We're here with a Filthy Lot. We're in North Vancouver. We're on the traditional territories of the Squamish Nation, and we always want to acknowledge the privilege that it is to work, play, and create on these beautiful lands. And if you're out there in the world, somewhere else, find out what traditional territories you're on and message us in the chat here on Twitch. Or, if we're watching later any of our shows on YouTube, we'd love to hear where you're watching from and hear more, learn about the world. Now, today, we have a new campaign coming up.
We do.
Oh.
And first episode of that actual session 1 is what, in 3 weeks?
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yes. This week, my Session 0. Next week, Strixhaven.
Yeah.
With Sam and a bunch of eager students. Eager students. So they're going to be playing next week. They're doing some Session 0 work this week, too. And then the week after that, Capri is running a game.
Nice.
Whoa, ozone. And then we'll be into Burn the North, Episode 1. Last time, Shadows of Blood, we were in Aderjan.
Yes.
In Altero. And now we're going to Telga, which is a far north continent.
Tell us more about it.
Oh, no. Okay.
Nice.
So, for inspiration images, and Matt and I were sharing with everybody that Telga looks a bit like Baffin Island. So, if you know much about Canada, you know that we have a lot of Canada is actually super far north.
Yeah.
There's not many people up there.
Very
and
few
it's really
people.
cool looking. Super cool looking. And we were really inspired by the idea that there would be this continent very remote and full of interesting climate and people and...
Is it like tundra?
Some of it,
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And I'm just going to read a little bit about some of the stuff that we'd written about it, just some quick information about Telga, and then why we're headed there. So it's mostly wild territory. There's not a lot of settlements or population, some small kingdoms and cities, and the people who are there are tough, hard people. And we kind of call them the Stormlords. So they have like their own kingdoms that they all, fight over, and it is there is no like unified system of government.
So it's more warlord.
Yeah,
driven?
yeah.
Interesting.
And it's the only place in our homebrew world of Altero where humans aren't the most prominent.
Oh, I was about to ask what's the...
Yeah.
Cool.
So it's mostly dwarves and orcs are about 33%, and then there are Goliath, elves, giants, and humans. So humans are actually only about 30% of the population there. So that's less common.
Is there...
Not very...
If there's elves
go ahead.
there, is there a lot of forests, or what kind of elves are they?
There are various kinds, but there are forests in the south part, and the continent itself is famous for a particular kind of wood that is very hard to get, because obviously the place is so remote, and the trees kind of only grow there, and they go from gray-blue to a brighter, darker blue, and they're called the Dyron trees.
And we have a map of Altero. Can we show people where that is on the map? Do we have it ready?
Oh.
Do we have it queued up anywhere?
Handy? I don't know.
I don't know.
I think we shared an image of it in some of the promo posts for today.
Oh, okay, great.
We'll share lots of
Roz
them.
opens an image on her laptop, I can bring it up.
There you go.
I mean, what? Can you see my desktop?
I'm also just going to throw a link to the Discord.
When I want to, I'm not doing it right now.
Yeah. I'll bring some of that stuff up. I'll do that in between some of the other players.
You can also throw it up on the Discord, so I just threw a link in the chat for people to join Discord, and they can check it out.
Yeah,
check it out there
it's some
later.
fun. And then one of the other things that's really cool about it is the southern part, first from the way Matt's figured out all of the exciting part about what the currents are all like around it, but it's extremely stormy, so the storm of seas.
Oh.
It's very dangerous to get in and out of.
The Stormlords.
The Stormlords.
Yeah.
So the place where we're going is this remote, cold, unnamed island off the coast of the continent where there's a prison.
Yes.
It's called the Tinder Box. Yeah. And that's where they throw people who they need to almost never hear from you again.
Oh.
And you have fire-based abilities.
Yes.
And that's the information that I gave to all the players.
Oh, there you go. There's Telga.
Yeah. And told you guys to bring to this check-in for our Session 0 a level 5 character that we're going to level up and get to know today, who has been convicted of a crime. Whether they're guilty or not is up to you, and we'll talk about it.
Mine is guilty, for sure.
And how they feel about it, we'll find out. And then
Yep.
you have some extremely cool fire-based abilities.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So I've gone with a fire genasi whose father was an Ifriti, fire elemental, and mother was a dwarf. And that came from, so I was trying to find a name, and there was like the evolution of like what choices I made at what time was kind of weird. But I came up with a name. Ignatius is the first name, and it was originally Emberborn. And then when I was reading things about the fire genasi description, the fact that their hair is can be either like red in color all the way to being actual flame, I was like, ooh, imagine a beard that was like glowing embers of a fire once you've had like a big fire and it dies down, and it's just like that glowing embers in the bottom that kind of rotate between
Moody.
orange to white to red. So I was thinking of a beard, and I was like, ooh, I'll make the mother a dwarf so that he can have a beard. so that's
dwarf mom,
fire
genasi dad.
fire genasi dad, which is weird to think about because genasi, not fire genasi dad, genie dad, Ifriti dad. Yeah. Who I need to name. So
Okay.
I haven't come up with a name.
Maybe people in chat want to suggest names.
Oh, sure. I'm open to suggestions. But raised by dwarves to a point, and then as his beard started to come in his teenage years, was then given the name Emberbeard, first of his line. Because
So somebody saw his face and was like, "Hey, Emberbeard."
Yeah.
And he was like, "I like it."
Exactly. Dwarves. But was
like it.
because of the natural inclination to fire and all that stuff, was trained in blacksmithing by the dwarves, but started to magically create things through their god that they worship, which I made a request to you for a god, because I'm making a cleric of the forge domain. Thus, blacksmith, forge, fire genasi, and then is there a god?
We're gonna talk. I'm gonna open up the Pantheon.
Yeah, I'm gonna need.
Because there was one we kind of talked about, and then there's another one that's newer that Matt's thrown in.
Sweet.
So let me just open up. I'm navigating towards the Dropbox for those. I sent you a message for we put our character sheets in D&D Beyond. So I just slacked you the campaign link.
Slack it to me.
Slack it to me. Toss your character in there, and we can pull that up, and people can see what we're talking about.
Great. Okay.
So in Altero, we have a Pantheon of Gods. Some very similar to the ones you would get if you were opening up, the player's handbook. And then some that are obviously more unique to us, or that have been already inspired and modified and changed because our players are loose in the world, writing story elements as we play together.
I have joined.
Super.
Also,
Okay.
the profile picture was one that I just found through a Google search. I do not own that image, and it's also probably going to change.
Okay.
It's not.
The image that you put up yesterday when you were streaming and talking about your character was really cool.
Oh, it's the same image. Yeah.
Nice.
It's cool. I'm actually thinking less actual flame for the beard, though.
Just the right amount of flame.
And this one's a bald.
How does he shave? With a wet towel.
I'm gonna say he doesn't.
Awesome.
With a frozen blade.
Nice. Okay, so I'm going to open up your sheet.
Okay.
I have to update the campaign where I'm in this. And I should see your character, Ignatius. Is that how we should pronounce it? Ignatius?
Ignatius.
Ignatius. Oh.
Ignatius in the beard.
Okay.
I'm working on a voice. That was it. Ignatius in the beard.
End of story.
Yeah. It's in development.
I like it.
Yeah.
Ooh, look at those hit points. Ooh. Okay.
Not great. But look at that AC.
Questions? I have questions. Okay, let's roll through a little bit about your character. We've done, who he is. He, him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Probably wouldn't care.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. No, you know what? Yeah, he, him.
Okay.
Would care, probably, in a weird way.
And then let's
Do you want to hear a bit about the criminal thing? Because I did give the criminal backstory. So, okay, at a certain point, through the Forge Domain cleric aspect, instead of sticking to the traditional methods of the dwarves of smithing, started using this god's power to magically create things instead of actually, manipulating metal with their hands. And leaning towards, so alignment I haven't actually chosen yet because I'm having trouble choosing between chaotic neutral, chaotic evil, or neutral evil, and I'm not sure which one makes the most sense.
Well, maybe when we talk about the god, that'll help determine it.
Oh, sure.
I'm suggesting Ondastat, who is a neutral, nature-based god.
Okay.
An ascended elven god, of destruction and renewal. So the fire that sweeps through places and it destroys in its path.
But brings new life from the ashes.
Yes.
I dig that.
And the symbol of the god is a flaming evergreen.
Very cool. Yes, because I want like a zealot. Like I want to play a religious zealot that in this dedication to this god is of the opinion that everything needs to burn. So.
And to bring back something new, and maybe we can learn as we play the character and you experience more about him, what it is that he thinks is the pure thing that would come back after.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't got there yet, but that sounds fun.
Like, is he just trying to get rid of everybody? I've just been watching Castlevania, so, Dracula wants to, like, kill all the humans.
Oh.
But why does this character want to be a part of destruction and the fire that...
Why? I want to play into sort of you ever stare into a fire and you just like you just get lost in it? I want to play that into his psychosis where he just sees everything as it's just more fuel for the fire, that he sees that as truth and that fire is purifying and wants to
Right. And maybe we can work on what the relationship with Ondastat is like.
Yeah, that'd be a good call.
Yeah.
Because there's also the complication of daddy issues. So Genasi typically don't have relationships. It's rare that they have relationships with their genie parents. And in this situation, after being cast out of the dwarven clans, / leaving themselves and not being accepted out in their teenage years, got back in touch with their Ifrit father. And Ifriti and all genies, most genies, in the elemental plane like to take slaves from the material plane and bring them back to the elemental plane to be their slaves. And the crime that Ignatius was arrested for was essentially kidnapping and slave trade. So was charming or persuading people or straight up kidnapping people and then teleporting them into the elemental plane to go be slaves for their father.
What was he getting out of it? Making his dad proud? Or was it like for cash?
I think it's a bit of both. Like, I think there was like, I see it as trying to gain acceptance from dad and feeling, because you said that Genasi are very rare in Altero. So finding that, like, you know what, I feel more at home with this fire-based world. So this material plane can just burn. And if this is what you need and we can build power together, like probably promises of like,
okay.
It is very Vader, like take my hand and we can destroy the Emperor together.
So your if Luke was like, I'm in.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go, Dad.
Let's do it. You got really cool Death Stars and stuff. Let's figure it out.
Okay. And then I guess we could think about if your power and your relationship with your god changes as you've been, stuck here on this plane. Are you seeing symbols and signs of the decisions? How do you feel about your crimes now that you've been arrested and forced to sit and think about it?
I would see it more of regret for getting caught. Yeah.
Okay. Like how long do you think he's been in the Tinder Box?
Ooh, good question. Because
then you can start filling out some of these things on your character sheet as we flesh them out here. Because I'm just on your page right now with your background.
Oh yeah.
Which I know you're working on.
Haven't filled out that stuff
yet. You put Clan Crafter in.
Oh, I'm having trouble choosing between Charlatan and Clancrafter because they both have elements that actually suit my backstory. And the Clancrafter is from like the childhood, whereas the Charlatan comes from. I put the character as 28, so I saw like from teenage years to about, let's say they've been in the Tinder Box about 2 years.
Okay.
So from
Well,
26
so pretty
to 28.
new to the Tinder Box for Tinder Box
Yeah.
standards. And then you haven't had that long to sit and think, but for you, how does that feel to that character, right? Is 2 years a long time to you? Are you like an impatient dude?
Yes, very impatient.
Yeah.
So like super frustrated, and like ready to snap.
And is he looking for any chance to escape?
Yes.
Okay.
He would have to be kept in. So since he's a Forge Domain character at level 8, I mean, I have it built to level 5, but I looked ahead a bit, and one of the things you get is like literally Fabricate is like always prepared kind of spell that it would have to be in a very magical cell, because if there's any metal, you could just turn it into a suit of armor in an hour, or instantaneously with Fabricate, and like create weapons, and then be like,
the
get the
Tinder
fuck
Box
out of
is
here.
different wings for different kinds of
Okay.
fire-based users. So you've been in a space where there's nothing you can do about it.
Okay. So that'd be super frustrating for a very long time.
Yeah, and obviously the whole point of this campaign, sort of a Suicide Squad style, they're going to come to you guys with a chance to either eliminate your time or reduce your sentence, because all of you have different lengths of time you've been told you have to stay there for. Most of you forever. And yeah, with the chance of being able to be free sooner if you do this most deadly task, which is they will tell you about it on day 1.
Okay.
So we're gonna start with some questions about your character, so we can work on some of these personality things and get to know him a little bit better, and then
Okay.
we'll roll up. So roll D100.
D100.
And I'm just gonna kind of ask you some questions that'll help us figure out your character.
Okay. Okay.
And it might help us pick some things out. 'Cause
Got my
I know we're
roll.
we're gonna hit the ground running at level 8 for day 1 of the campaign, but
48.
48, okay. 48 is so funny because it's always like 4d8s, what?
4d8. That's pretty good.
So the question I'm gonna ask you is, what aspect of your character's future are they most curious about?
Ooh.
If they could know one thing about their future, what would it be? What would they ask a fortune teller?
What would they ask a fortune teller? Good question. I'm leaning a couple of ways. One of them would either be something about will I succeed in like purifying enough of the world for, what was it? I wanted to say Odenkirk.
On the stat.
For Bob Odenkirk. For
I would
on the
worship
stat.
Bob.
He's a god of fire. So something in that regard, like will I live to see the fulfillment of like what that god's whole thing is?
It's very much about like, do I have a purpose? Right?
Yeah. And otherwise it would have to do with the dad and like, will I, will we rule over, what's the name of the city? There's like a Afridi city. I can't remember what it's called.
Well, yeah, we were also going to figure out kind of where you got busted in the world, but we can look at that stuff too.
Sure.
But let's work on a couple other little personality questions
Okay.
before we level up. So, another D100 roll for me.
Okay. 54.
54. So this is a cultural quirk of where you were. Or maybe in your case, maybe the dwarves you grew up with.
Okay.
And I'm doing some fun D100 tables that we can share with people. But, you grew up with people who said that saying no is very rude. Instead, they say, yes, once this. So they don't.
Conditional agreement.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Just a fun thing that you can maybe flavor in.
Yeah.
If you like it.
Okay, I do like that. That's kind of fun. I've been trying to think of a greeting, because like some of my characters have had, and nothing too complex. Like Rurik is just, hi, I'm Rurik. An emissary, I am emissary. Like, and that's more of a mission statement, because that's his. People thought it was his name, but that was actually their purpose. And then Scoops is Scoops, Dimble, Fremlin, Dandelion, Mernig at your service. So then I want something that's maybe vaguely threatening, but also charming. So you could take it, looking for like some sort of double entendre. I haven't figured it out yet, but I'm
Well, if people have suggestions.
Yeah, put them in the chat. I'll comment.
And roll
below
your
on YouTube.
D100 again for me.
D100 again.
Because we're going to have something that was in your pockets when you were arrested that you're hoping you'll find again.
Something that was in my pockets.
Something special to you.
Okay, 97.
Ooh, way down that list.
Yeah, scroll.
Scroll, scroll, scroll. An advertisement for a local tavern.
That I'm hoping to get again? Okay.
Maybe there's some information written on the back or something.
Yeah. Like number, a place to go to, like something slave tradey.
Yeah, something important, right?
Yeah. Although it would have been it'd have to still be relevant 2 years later.
Or however
However
much
much
you can
longer.
get your hands on it again.
Ooh,
right?
maybe it's a stash of something magical.
Yeah.
Hi.
I'll leave that with you.
I'll think of something there.
Ponder.
Yeah.
Okay.
Free drink.
It's just a coupon
Just the
for
one.
Maybe it's like someone promised you could drink for free forever there,
Oh yeah.
and you're like, this is proof. Okay.
lifetime free.
One
drink.
last D100 roll before we get into more about leveling this guy.
All right. 007. So that's just 7, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this is something I want to propose to you as a random option on a more villainous character trait for you to attempt to incorporate into your character.
Okay.
I know you've already got a really good plan of this dude, but you hear voices and are deeply devout to the divine whims of the voices.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, that kind of lines up. Yeah. I've already got an eye thing I'm going to try and build.
Yeah.
That's
So I'll throw that out to you. Incorporate it if you feel like that helps you build some uniqueness
Hearing voices.
to him.
Would be the second character I've done that hears voices.
Oh, Trevor. Okay, so now what do we need to do? I'm gonna go back to your character sheet because we're gonna level you up. 'Cause
Okay.
We're gonna play at level 8, so that you guys can actually fight a dragon, maybe.
Wait, where's my... There it is. Okay.
And some.
Indubitably. So I'm just going to... We're just jumping to 8 on Beyond, yeah?
Yeah, just
Okay.
work through the process and let me know what your questions and concerns are. Because I also want... We talked a little bit about it already, but everybody's gonna get 2 green items and 2 blue.
Yes.
And I make no promises that all of those items show up to you when you get your stuff back.
Ooh. Okay. So I have a couple of... As far as items go, I just threw them into my inventory and I can remove them. But you said 2 green, 2 blue. So where do you want to start?
So you've leveled your character up. Do you have any questions for me
Oh,
before we get into the items?
I mean, I've selected level 8. I selected the drop-down box.
I have pushed the button.
I did push the button. Should I do hit points first?
Yeah.
I've been rolling mine, and I should have gone with fixed. Because I ended up too lower than I could have been. So it's a D8 per level, so we're doing this 3 times. 5, 8, 6. Nice.
These are performance dice. They really show up best when
No, they were on camera last night, and they burned me.
Good job, dice.
So that was 8, 6, and 5. Nice. That's better than fixed. I'm making up for it. So 26 plus, what did you say, 19? That's 19? Mm-hmm. Yep. So 26 and 19, 30, 45. 45.
Okay, great. And then
Rolled 45, so I'm at 53. Hey! I feel so much safer already.
it's only a dragon, guys. It's gonna be just fine.
Okay, I'm gonna...
And we don't need to do spells or anything because you can do those
I've already selected my cantrips, because apparently those, as a cleric, I can change my spell loadout every time I go to sleep. Except for my cantrips. So I've chosen those.
I am looking at them right now. Guidance. Mm-hmm. Very nice.
I've never
Mending.
used that before. I'm excited about it. Yeah, mending.
You've never used guidance?
No. No. I'm still a rookie. Mending because of the whole forge aspect. I figured that should be something that's in there.
That's good character work.
Produce flame comes from being fire genasi, so I didn't choose that one. It's just there. But that's also why I didn't choose light, because at will I can just, and that gives off light for not quite as well as light. Sacred flame I figured had a good narrative effect, and thaumaturgy I took mostly for to express sort of the religious zealot aspects when like trying to convert people or whatever, to add like effects to eyes, booming voice, make the ground shake, that kind of stuff. Yeah, performative.
Do you want to pitch me your green and blue items?
Sure, but before I do that, I'd like to pitch to you a common item.
Huh.
Yeah.
Hit me.
Because it would be something that he would have earned through his criminal dealings and could have made himself, for sure. It's just plate.
Oh, he wears plate?
Yeah. Because starting equipment-wise,
it's lots of cash.
it'd be like chainmail. Yeah, plate is worth $1,500, but he's a criminal, active for 8 years. Slave trade. Could totally get some plate and could make it himself.
Yeah. Do you want to forgo a green item?
Ooh,
place of it?
Potentially. And because also when I look at starting equipment for the class would allow chainmail, and I was like, okay, but that's starting
that would
at
be
like level one.
Exactly.
We're all the way to level 8.
Yeah.
So.
And your character's been out on the road and has daddy money bucks.
Yeah. Yeah. The green items I'm looking at. So we talked about
the green one. Okay.
We talked about one of them that I don't want to give up because I don't think it would. So I wanted to take Eyes of Charming, but to have undergone some sort of alteration or surgery that instead of it being a pair of glasses, have actually been lenses that have been surgically attached to his eyes, so that he has a magic item that are embedded in his eyes, and that at will he can attempt to try to charm.
It's gross. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the other one I have on here is a Ring of Warmth.
Oh.
And that is... Are you familiar with the Ring of Warmth?
I am not.
While wearing this ring, you have resistance to cold damage. In addition, you and everything you wear and carry are unharmed by temperatures as low as minus 50 degrees Fahrenheit.
I say you could have that in your inventory.
But I might not get it depending on the rolls of...
Yeah, because I'm definitely going to roll for who gets what back when, you go to prison and they've arrested you and they throw you in your cell with none of your good stuff. And the idea is they're supposed to give you back everything. And I think I decided I would roll on what everybody gets back. I'll be nice, mostly. And, we'll see.
Okay.
But I do think that's something that, your character might have had on you.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
As far as blue items, I've put more in here than I even want. Basically, one of them is a shield. It's a +2 shield.
Okay.
The other 3, it's basically one of 3. So I wanted you to help me figure out which one makes the most sense. I have one equipped that I think makes the most sense, especially narratively. The other one is, it's a little... The Dragon Slayer sword, or Dragon Slayer longsword, I think is a little too pointed and doesn't make a lot of sense. This is me being like, we're supposed to kill a dragon, right? Well, this will do extra damage.
I'm going to say no.
Makes sense. Otherwise, it's between the +2 longsword and the Flame Tongue longsword. And the Flame Tongue longsword totally suits this character. Something that, as a god of fire, if you can speak a command word and flaming sword, it just makes tons of sense.
I think it makes tons of sense for your character. Yeah. And also it has like an intimidation factor to it.
Oh, yeah.
Would be totally about his jam.
Yeah. So that's the one I'm leaning towards, although, I need to take a feat.
Okay.
In order to use these things effectively. And it is Weapon Master, I believe. Hold on a second, I'm in the wrong page. Class. Choose an option. Feat. Choose a feat. Weapon Master. So Forged Unnamed Clerics are not proficient with anything beyond simple weapons, which is crazy. But they are good with heavy armor because of the strength that I'm at here. Yeah, because that'll bring my strength up to enough to handle the plate.
Yes,
Yeah.
so make it all work.
Because you got to be at 15 to even wear it. And I'm going to have to thank someone from my chat in my own personal stream last night because I didn't know that.
Hero, rescuing the cleric.
Thanks, Host.
We don't have too much time because I'm going to rotate through all the players
Yes.
today. You and I will catch up more. So thank you so much for introducing us. I
Yeah.
have a special thing to give you.
Sure.
And I'm going to
I'll take special things.
I know, presents. Presents from Sean Halloran, who is a friend of the Filthy Loud family and who creates amazing, beautiful materials like these books. They are character books.
Oh.
Keep track of all of your notes.
Oh.
And they come in all these beautiful colors. They're so amazing. You can find them on materialcomponents.co.
Okay.
And
Sick.
I know we have some really cool things to look at as I let you pick the color of the book that you'd like.
Oh.
So pick your book.
Oh, I get first pick?
Uh,
Oh, Matt's going to hate me.
oh my goodness. If you flip to the front page, this is the kind of reddy brown one. This part you can do dry erase pen and marker on.
Oh.
So I have this for you as well.
Oh, wow.
And then there's a sheet in the. Oh wow. There's a sheet in the
Wow.
front, a little like a cloth to help you erase.
Oh, cool.
They are acid-free satin paper.
Hero book.
Sewn binding. They're so beautiful. They're really adapted. This collection of them is for D&D 5e, which is what we're playing in this campaign. There's notes in here about the classes.
Quick reference.
Handy quick reference, exactly.
Oh, cool, for like
Also-
extra actions.
100% recycled and sustainably sourced paper. Amazing. And it's a carbon neutral facility. Like, what the hell? This is amazing.
Oh,
These
this
are
is
beautiful. They are unique to you once you start throwing all your info in here. You can read about the different races and
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here.
information. I mean, the handy one for me is I always bookmark the page of conditions.
Do you-
Because
what
I always
kind of bookmark
forget.
Do you use? Do you dog ear?
No?
No, I saw.
I would never do this book. You saw us fighting about it, didn't you?
No, I saw an alignment chart of what kind of bookmarks you use.
At my home, I just memorize the page.
Oh, lawful evil.
Yeah. Matt is always like, "You're a madman. A madman."
Can you?
They're beautiful.
So I feel like I'm being. My time is complete.
We're gonna talk more. We got a couple
Yes.
weeks still.
Can you send me the info of that god to help me
Yes,
make some
on the stat. Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
On the stat?
On a stat.
On
Let me post it to you in
stat?
Slack right now, and then you'll have the info as you go away to put it in your character notes.
Okay,
right
okay,
away.
okay.
So let me just steal this out of the Pantheon page. Bum, 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 bum.
It sounds like we landed on Flame Tongue Longsword,
Yep.
but we didn't land anywhere on plate for sure. You said we'd
I
be
think-
willing to give up a green.
Yes. Put the plate. You can have it.
Oh,
We'll see if they're gonna have to give you back armor.
okay. Yeah, I mean, they want us to succeed, right? They want us to have a good shot.
I think people have. You'll see.
Okay, okay.
There's how to spell on the stat.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
So-
you. I'm so
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Ignatius.
fun. Yes. Ignatius Impapit.
Ignatius Emplefield.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. Okay, I'm not gonna pretend I can do that voice.
It's all about the fire genasi have voices like the crackling of fire. So I'm gonna have a lot of
Rhythmic.
a lot of pops.
Amazing. As you pack it in, I'm meeting Cheyenne next,
Okay.
and so I'm gonna. Well, if you can help me spritz the table down a smidge.
Oh sure.
And we'll meet our next player.
I felt like you were gonna say contestant.
Well,
Come on down.
Come on down.
You're the next contestant. On
Who's ready to
Session
go
0.
next?
Burn the doors.
woo! All right.
What's the website again for these? Hero books on
Material components.
material components.
That's it.
There you go.
And hopefully we can have somebody. I'll share it in the chat right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna. For those at home in Twitch, I'm gonna stay in the chat while every other.
And here's a link to the hero book
Hi,
page.
I'm here.
Hi.
I was told to come. Oh, so many things. I'll get you out of your way. Am I in your way?
No.
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 I'll stand over here. Waiting.
Don't worry, chat's only kind of making fun of you. Brr, brr, brr.
Here, I'll put this over here so it's easy.
Yeah. And then there's some stuff if you want.
Amazing. How are ya?
I'm so good. How are you?
I'm so good. I'm so excited.
I almost said hello, Ela.
I know. She's always going to be with us, I think.
And what a journey at the end.
Oh my
that
gosh, such
character.
a journey.
Oh my goodness.
She had such a bigger part in things than I could have ever hoped for her, so it was very sweet.
Well, let's meet someone wildly different.
Wildly different.
Wildly
Yeah.
different.
But equally a part of me.
I like the idea that we are all more than just like one thing, and the beautiful part about D&D is getting to explore the different sides of yourself and try that person on.
Totally. Yes, I think it's great. I'm very excited.
Okay, I am going to pop over to our, because you've loaded your character in.
Sure have.
I think you need to let me and the world know, how did you even come up with this?
Well, I'm an emo kid at heart. My high school years were spent with black hair and skinny jeans and in like weird community center screamo shows. So I have created the character Maya Mortal, who is she's a 16-year-old tiefling phoenix sorcerer with a whole lot of attitude and a lot of angst. Yeah.
Whoa, we are in for a ride.
Oh, you sure are.
So I imagine that the Tinder Box has to have a special wing for, the young criminals.
Juvenile delinquents.
Yep.
Yeah.
And, they still need to be kept away from the rest of society. 'Cause
Absolutely.
you don't play nice with others.
I don't.
And you're real dangerous. And we're going to find out more about her now. And you had some interesting ideas about how her character grew up.
Yes. I picture her, she was adopted by two human clerics who are like devoutly religious, like the fundamentalist Christians of Altero. And so tieflings have been sort of a stigmatized group of people. So they're like, it was like a missionary work, white savior bullshit. They adopted a young tiefling without knowing that she had some pretty intense powers and was not going to follow their religious teachings. So she grew up like very much in their religion, but from a young age started spontaneously bursting into flame and bursting other people into flame. So they think she's the devil, so they sent her away.
It's beautiful. And I was going to propose to you, because I've run a couple of a couple of games, mostly one-shot type things, but in particular one where there are some religious zealots and they've got a bunch of pirates who kind of partner with them to destroy alcohol when they go out on raids. And so there's this really like dry religious order that are very upset about anybody having access to drugs or booze or any of that kind of stuff. And I call them the League of Temperance.
Okay, yeah, that sounds great.
And then I was looking up some words that we could call these guys. And then I found the word Nephilism that I'd never heard of before. And it means Nephilism, the total abstinence from alcohol.
Oh, see, I've never heard of that word.
Never heard that word.
I've never heard that word.
So I thought maybe we could call these religious clerics Nephilites.
Nephilites, I love that.
Yeah, and they would be part of the League of Temperance, and they are mostly in this stage or part of the world where there's a lot of pirates and stuff. But it's the Sugar Islands.
Okay.
And so we can have you from that part of the world.
Okay.
That would be much farther south, obviously, than the Tinder Box is located. And there's a city there. The main city on the Sugar Islands is called Marlouse.
Marlouse.
Marlousse. So that's some kind of like backstory that if we need to flavor some stuff in,
Cool.
you would have grown up sort of in those, Caribbean-y piracy-like area, kind of thinking like that sort of a vibe for what it might have looked like and felt like. But now you've been presumably up to some serious carnage.
Yeah.
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 And I don't know if you have an idea about what happened for your first and last crimes, but I also have tables we could roll on.
Oh, let's roll.
Okay.
I love rolling by chance. I had a bit of an idea, but I think rolling is way more fun, and we're doing it live,
Okay.
which is great.
Let's find out.
Let's
So
find out.
I would like you to roll a d8 for me
Okay.
when you're up and rolling.
When I'm up and rolling.
When you're up and rolling.
Okay.
And we're going to roll the d8 3 times, but each time is going to tell us a little bit more about the story.
Amazing. Oh, that's so fun.
And do we want to do your first crime and then maybe the crime you were busted as separate crimes that we learn about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds fun. Okay, rolling a d8.
Okay.
I got a 7.
Ooh. Oh my. So this first crime
Yeah.
that maybe your family wasn't able to either protect you from the authorities or they turned you in, I don't know.
Yeah.
This is a crime against health and probably a murder.
Whoa! Oh, shit. Okay.
Maybe it wasn't on purpose. Maybe you did just light someone on and the whole place on fire.
Well, yeah. Actually, one of the things I was thinking that could be interesting, an interesting breaking point for her parents, like maybe sending her away, would be if she accidentally burned down their temple. Or like not even accidentally, like rage burned it down. Like
Yeah.
I think some of her powers come with, like, she's young and so hormonal, and she doesn't quite have a grasp on her powers yet. So when she feels big emotions, things burst into flames.
Nice.
And she's 16, so everything's a big emotion.
Yeah, okay. Well, roll the d8 again.
Okay. 5.
Okay. So, my goodness.
Oh,
It
no.
is a blood relation to you
Oh no!
who is the victim of this crime.
Oh
So, what do you want to work into this?
Whoa.
Sibling, cousin,
no! Interesting.
aunt or uncle? One of the parents, even?
Mm.
It sounds like they might still be around with kind of what you're
Yeah,
thinking
yeah.
about, right?
Maybe it's like my uncle is like a sort of leader in the
Oh,
Nephilim.
and did something happen for you to just lose your shit in that moment?
Yeah, maybe. Well, I think she feels very like othered, and like nobody understands her.
They don't.
Of course they don't. So maybe there was some like ignorance that he said or something that just really ticked her off. Like
Yeah.
he's trying to like purify her.
Trying to baptize her?
So,
And
yeah,
she's-
baptize her against her will. That's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe he's trying to baptize her against her will.
Roll a d8 again.
I got a 1.
Okay, so part of the motive is pride.
Interesting.
Yeah, and about power. And so, maybe it is, her frustration in that moment is her emotions, but also maybe, what that moment was about.
Well,
Would you consider her a prideful character?
yeah, I think anybody that is like adheres to like one of these sort of subcultures is very proud of that subculture. So I think she's, like no one understands me. I'm different and like very protective of that counterculture. And maybe she's also very like she's adopted and doesn't look like the other people in her, in the Nephilites. So maybe she just feels very like, like she's in the wrong place and there's something better for her and these people are keeping her down.
Awesome. And maybe at this stage, your parents were like, we have to send you away. And then at some point, you probably got away from whoever you were
Yeah.
being.
Maybe they sent me that like Dr. Phil school, the Altero version of that Dr. Phil Paris Hilton school.
Yeah, and then you would have had to get loose and be out on your own for a little bit.
Yeah.
So that we can, even though you're younger, you've had a lot of like street experience because you've leveled up till, we're starting out at 5 here, but we're going to level you up to 8.
Amazing. Yeah.
So it's been a real crash course in, learning your powers in the world and
Yeah.
what your place in it is.
Yeah. And I think she's like partially, she does come from this like privilege of a family that's like very well put together. So I think she maybe idealizes like being out by herself on the streets, and maybe it's been a lot harder than she expected. Classic teenager
Did she get
move.
wrapped up in some people that maybe she wasn't?
Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think she got busted doing something with them? Or on
Yeah.
her own?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
With them. Yeah.
Let's find out what that crime was.
Yeah. Please.
Let's roll
do it.
again.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so this time,
7.
let's roll again. Let's not do another, like, just straight up, that one was murder.
Okay.
So,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's a D8 thing.
3.
Oh. This time is either a kidnapping or a blackmail.
Ooh. Okay. Kidnapping or blackmail?
So maybe with this, like, whatever crime group she got mixed up in, they're probably using her for her powers.
Yeah. Maybe to, like, hold a rich kid hostage or something.
Another teenager
Yeah.
that maybe she bonded with.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. Hold a teenager. Okay. Yeah. Hold a teenager hostage. Maybe it's like, maybe she's like, this group that she's been traveling with, these like ruffians, wanted her to like get close to this kid so that they could, extort his rich parents. But then maybe she like has a huge crush on him secretly,
Oh my
and is
God,
very
yes.
sad about it.
Oh my
like,
goodness.
And it's like, she like it was like the Skater Boy Avril Lavigne song, like a very like
Yes, he was.
torrid. Yeah, he was a skater boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
And he probably, like, was so cute, though.
Oh my God, he was so cute.
Right?
He was like a little preppy, but he was so cute.
Yeah, because he was obviously, destined for a life of just silver spoons. And
Totally.
Yeah.
Doesn't know what the real world is, even though she's only been in the real world for a small amount of time. She's the worst.
But she probably felt kind of protective of him.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Aw. And maybe see this life where, like, maybe if he married her, she'd be a princess, and
Aww.
this like dream of what it could have been.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So we don't necessarily need to roll on this one, but it is like who that victim was. So it's probably that person was a stranger.
Yeah.
Until
we met. Yeah.
Yeah, and then almost the love of her life if this hadn't happened.
Well, in her short 16 years, probably the love of her short 16-year-old life. Yeah.
We're gonna have to name this dude.
Oh, absolutely. Who was I in love with when I was 16? I'm trying to think.
Who is the like that attractive? He's got everything. If you could connect to that person, your life would be set and everything would be comfortable.
Yeah. But we'll call him Bobby. We'll call him Bobby.
Nice.
I'm thinking of someone very in particular that I hope isn't watching.
Okay. And so the motive for all of this then would have been, is it cash? Is it just cash? Let's roll the D8. The leader of your group probably told you guys it was cash,
Yeah.
but this is what it was really about.
Okay. I rolled a 3 again. Is that good?
Interesting. Okay. It's to protect the criminals from reprisal. So the idea being then maybe
it's like a judge's son. Or something. You know what I mean? Like somebody with power, that is looming, holding something over them.
Against the organization.
Yeah. So it's like kind of that blackmail thing. Like, we'll let him go if you let all the other shit we do slide. Like a mob thing, but not the mob.
Oh.
You know?
I like it.
Buying judges and
Yeah.
stuff.
And then what happened?
I feel like the most
Because
emo
you got
thing-
busted.
Yeah. The most emo thing to do would be like somehow either there's sort of two routes we could go. Like the really tragic, like somehow Bobby dies because of this and, she blames herself, or like Bobby finds out like the truth about her and doesn't, says we can't be together, I don't love you, even though it was really serious, and he doesn't believe her that she was put up to it.
Yeah, or like the whole route of like, he's like, come with me, right? And she said, did she choose her gang? Or maybe she didn't get a choice.
Should we roll for this one?
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, or 4, he's died.
Okay.
5, 6, 7, or 8, he's alive. And then we'll worry about whether he's alive or dead. The dice decide. What happened to Bobby?
Bobby! Oh no, he died!
He died! Oh Okay. So she never got the chance to find out what life could have been like with Bobby.
She'll never know, and it's gonna haunt her forever.
Yeah.
Maybe she feels like his like ghost is haunting her too. You know, there's a lot of emo songs like that.
So like, what could have been? You know?
Yeah. She messed up, and somehow it's like her fault that he died in this
Yeah.
handover kerfuffle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So it all goes south. Everything falls apart. Maybe his parents didn't really give enough a shit about him to actually rescue him. They just bust in. You guys are all like fleeing on your own.
Yeah.
He dies. She thinks it might be her fault, but doesn't know if it really was.
I love that. Yeah.
So she's just left wondering,
Yeah.
you know, what could have been.
And she has nothing now. She doesn't have Bobby, and she doesn't have
Her gang.
and you know she can't go back home. So she's
Yeah, maybe she was the only kind of like survivor left over, so they kind of pull her out of it.
yeah.
They pin the whole thing on her.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's good. Only survivor. Yeah.
This like crazy weird organization thing. She probably doesn't even understand exactly what the whole fight was about.
No. I think she probably thinks this is like way lower level than it is, and she's been very easily manipulated by because she's young and super powerful.
I like this a lot. This is going to be super fun for her to work with.
Yeah.
Okay. And then how are you feeling with the rest of her character work? Do you want to do some more just like rolls to get to know her?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So roll a D100 and I'm just going to ask you a random question about her.
Okay.
And we'll see what feels right. For Maya.
Yeah. Maya
Is Mortal a family name or did she take that name herself?
Oh, that's funny.
Were they the Mortals?
I think that's funnier. I think it's funnier if she didn't make it up. Like, that's just her name.
Yeah. So people are just like, that's not a real name.
Yeah. It is. Leave me alone. Okay. Got 50.
50, bang on. Okay, who in a traveling party would she prioritize rescuing?
Okay.
The most dire of circumstances.
Definitely the cutest boy. Definitely the cutest boy. She's at that age where that's the only thing speaking to her from her body.
Okay.
The cutest one.
Let's do one more.
Okay.
You need to roll 2 dice.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, all good.
D10. What do I got in here?
So I think we all know that about Maya. But I like that you said it out loud. See how it felt, you know? It's good.
God, so funny. Okay.
And then
14.
14. Something else let's get to know her a little bit. Oh, the question was, has she ever been in love?
Oh.
We just did all of that. It's so good. Roll once more. We know she's in love with Bobby.
She loved Bobby.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cocked. 76.
I like the way you fix that. You're just like,
Yeah. Well, saute. Give it a saute.
oh, if she could forget any of her memories, which would she choose? Does she want to forget any of those horrible things she's done? Or any of the good things? Or anything about, like, you know, those embarrassing things that happened to us as teenagers?
Yeah, I mean, I think. Oh, speaking of which, I wrote a list of embarrassing things that can happen to her through the game.
I love it.
I think she would probably want to forget that she was in love with Bobby. Like, she'd want to forget that part because that makes everything else easier,
Yeah.
right?
She wants to have a redo at first love.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, roll the D100 again, because we're going to find out a little bit of, like, the quirk about her people.
Perfect.
Something quirky about them.
77.
Ooh, rolling nice and high up there. Okay, 77. Oh. Tipping your hat to someone who doesn't have a hat is an insult.
Oh. That's very funny. It's like biting your thumb.
Yeah.
Tipping your hat to someone who doesn't have a hat. Is an insult.
That's weird. I like it.
It would really apply to Ela.
Roll me another D100. Ela.
54.
Okay, so Maya went to a fortune teller once,
Okay.
and the fortune teller told her, "The face of the one you seek is a busker at dawn a composer at noon, a patron at dusk, a maestro under the stars.
A busker at dawn.
Composer at noon,
Sorry.
patron at dusk, a maestro under the stars. That was the fortune she was given.
Maestro under the stars. Okay,
This,
so
this suits her. I
this
like
this actually really suits her because I have come up with her favorite band. Because that was very important to me at the time. So her favorite band is called Your Synthetic Devotion. It's a group of drows. So they're all like very attractive and dark and emo. So maybe she thinks this is pertaining to the lead singer of her
Yes.
favorite band.
Yeah,
Like that makes
100%.
total sense.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely going to marry the lead singer of my favorite band.
Is his name?
I haven't come up with his name yet.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sure she knows him by first name.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's think. So I was in love with Gerard Way when I was a 16-year-old. So maybe it's like Bernard Farr.
I love it.
I'm writing that
Okay,
down.
so
That's canon now.
Yeah. Bernard is this amazing busker at dawn, composer at noon, patron at dusk, maestro under the stars.
Oh, I wrote Under the Stairs. That's different. Maestro Under the Stairs.
And I'm also having everybody roll a D100 for something that was in your pockets that was kind of special that you're hoping will show up in your stuff. It's not one of your items or your weapons. It's just something a little like trinkety that you had with you.
Cool. 89.
Ooh, okay. You had a collector's set of very tiny letter openers.
Ooh. Collector set of tiny letter openers.
Well, they definitely didn't let you keep that.
Yeah. Absolutely not. That's a little mini weapons.
I mean, for all your love letters.
Adorable.
And for stabbing things.
Oh, yeah.
It does two things.
She does stab a lot of things, yeah. Very stabby and letter righty.
Maybe they are little daggers,
Yeah.
but they're also her, like, letter openers.
Cute. That's cute.
So she's looking to get
Problematic.
those back. Yeah. Okay, and then because she's on the road to becoming a villain, did you pick an alignment that you're going to try to work with?
I originally was going with chaotic evil, but I think I'm just going to go with chaotic neutral right now because I figured she's 16. She doesn't really know what she wants yet. And I think that general feeling is very chaotic. You know, she doesn't know who she is. She doesn't know what she wants. She thinks she does, but everything's changing always. And
Okay, so
Yeah.
one more D100 roll. And this is for something that is like, if you want to incorporate it, a villainous sort of personality trait.
cool. 21.
Okay, so this one is you crave respect or friendship of great heroes.
She's groupie.
Yeah,
She's a wannabe groupie.
I like it. And then if we pop over, you've picked as her background Phoenix Descendant, which makes sense for the character you're building. And as a sorcerer, the source of your magic is related to. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Okay,
Yeah.
and then some other characteristics that you've got in here. Being near fire keeps you calm. You're looking to grow your power. And then I think it's really interesting that you put as a bond, the fire in me grows evermore, and I must work to keep it controlled,
Yeah.
which relates to a lot of that backstory stuff about, when you lose control.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really bad. So I think she kind of understands as much as you can when you're that age that there is something really great about her and there's something really powerful, but she has like absolutely no control of it right now, and I think that scares her. So she really wants to master it because she thinks there's better things for her on the horizon and she can be with great heroes, but she doesn't know how to use it and she doesn't know how to control her emotions.
Is she looking for a mentor?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Yeah. She's got no, her parents, she never connected with her parents and she doesn't really know who she is. She doesn't have that person in her life to guide her. So,
It's amazing. So you're seeing her as a purple skin with black hair that has red in it.
yeah.
And then where are the feathers incorporated from the phoenix?
I think there's some in her hair, like the kind of like little tufts that are like hair. And I think they like pop up on her arms, but she plucks them out because she thinks it's like unattractive. So, that teenager like body changing, she's like, oh God.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they're going to be cropping up on her spine too.
Ooh, I like
Yeah.
it. Okay. And as we level her up, we're gonna take her all the way to 8. So we're gonna roll. We're gonna add hit points and then some, maybe a feat or anything else. So just go to D&D Beyond and then just start working through the process.
Okay.
Because I'm just looking in here at her stats at 5, which is looking good. So we need a few more hit points to fight a dragon. That'd be useful.
Yes. Yes, it is. So should I just level to 8 right now and see what happens? Great. Okay. Oh, this is exciting.
Yes.
Okay. Level 8. So now I have 50 hit points. Sick. Okay. Ability score improvement.
Or a feat.
Or a feat. Interesting. Okay, so I can increase 2 ability scores by 2, or by 1, or 1 by 2. Or I can take a feat.
Yes. And looking across the board, I mean, your charisma looks good for a sorcerer. And nothing is standing out to me like, you know, I must have this. You could role play this quite easily, right? So a feat might be something I might be interested in.
Let's look at them. What are the feats that we can take? Let's see. Oh, there's so many.
There's so many.
Oh.
As a sorcerer, there's a couple of like magic abilities that are kind of handy.
There's some flame ones, some magic ones. Ritual caster. Well, now, what does that mean? Because I've never played a sorcerer before, so I usually play druids. So this is all very new to me, and sorcerers have a lot more rules, I feel.
I think it's because you're used to playing druids.
Maybe.
I think I mean, everything is as complicated as you want to make it, of course. But I think, yes, and some things are, you need all of the components and all the things with you. If you know something as a ritual, then it's like you have all of that stuff. And I'm just reading through it as like the idea that the spells are written in a ritual book.
Okay.
When you acquire it as a feat, the ritual book can hold 2 first level spells of your choice. And then obviously the sorcerer fits in there. And then choose spells that have the ritual tag.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and then you can add them into the ritual book.
Okay. I don't know. I feel like it might be something cooler. What do you think would be, because you're the D&D wizard, or not a wizard. I don't know if you play a wizard.
I played some wizards.
You played some wizards in your day? What do you think would be the most beneficial for my character, looking at what I can do? Because I'm quite powerful as far as like attack spells and some defense stuff. I don't have any like healing or anything like that. I think I just just kind of
let me look at
tornado.
This list here. Oh, I see you were the telepathic was something that showed up there.
Yeah, I was just looking at it.
You were looking at that one, right?
Yeah.
That's an interesting one because you have really high charisma, which is just something natural about you as a sorcerer.
So I've been told.
And then I'm looking at magic initiate right now.
Okay, let's take a look.
Which will add some cantrips to your sorcerer list, which gives you some extra stuff that don't cost a bunch of magic.
Sweet.
And then you can add another spell.
Okay. Oh, that's kind of cool.
And I'm just thinking a bit about coming from that religious background, or maybe they tried to teach you magic to help control, your abilities. So that might be something that might be interesting.
Okay.
Give you some extra magics.
I love having multiple spells. That's great. And these are cantrips, yeah?
The 2 of them will be cantrips, and then 1 will be a first level spell.
Okay.
That you can learn and cast at the lowest level. And then you finish a long rest. So it doesn't use up a spell slot. It's just that you get that one.
Okay. I don't know, chat, what do you think I should take?
Ooh.
What do you think I should take?
Any suggestions? People are helping out? Yeah. I am often looking for stuff that gives me extra cantrips because it's just nice to be able to burn a bunch of magic stuff that I don't have to worry a lot about saving everything for the big fight.
Yeah.
Got a couple extras in your pocket?
And I'm like, I don't think I'm not very strong with melee stuff, so I think that would be good to be able to have that.
And then if you're worried about wanting to be better at melee stuff, that's another interesting idea that we could look at. I wonder if there's anything that's sort of, There's also...
Ooh.
Yep.
I just looked at a cantrip called Lightning Lure, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So you create a lash of lightning, and it strikes a creature of your choice within 15 feet of you. They must succeed on strength saving throw or be pulled up to 10 feet straight towards you and then take lightning damage, which feels like on brand.
I like it.
And very powerful.
It's like on The Last Airbender, how the fire sister, her powers were so much more intense and she was able to do the lightning stuff really easily.
Yeah. I think
that's super emo.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's very cool. That's very cool. Like, lightning is a whole other source of fire, heat, magic.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll take that one. And we'll take...
I'll let you also ponder, there's an elemental adept lightning, which is another feat, and you could do that about fire or lightning. But if you're kind of into lightning and you want to have some extra lightning business, and then because you can also going to have cantrips anyways as a sorcerer.
Yeah.
So you could take some lightning stuff along with your fire, and then if you have the lightning elemental adept, you would have resistance to lightning damage, and when you roll for damage on a spell that deals lightning damage, you can treat a 1 on any damage dealt as a 2. And that's an interesting, give yourself some extra stuff. If you wanted to be like, I'm going to enhance my lightning abilities.
Cool.
Yeah. And then I guess we're going to have to check in on more of the stuff as we go and keep building this character over the next few weeks. But Cheyenne, do you want to choose a book?
I do! Oh my gosh.
So you already have one of these at home for your other characters?
I do. I love them so much. I think they're so
Do you have a new color?
Oh.
Because you've got one. I'm not sure which color you have at home.
I have a green one at home, druidy stuff. You know, natural. I'm thinking the black would probably be very like emo kid.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. I love, my favorite quality is that they stay open. The pages stay open.
They're so amazing.
Like
Because they're sewn.
Yeah,
right?
they're sewn
Binding.
the way they're bound. So they just like, any page you want, it just stays open. And I think that is
It's amazing.
So handy.
I will post another link to these books in the chat again in case
Okay.
anybody's new and missed it. But this is from Material Components.
Great.
Vancouver local company. So local company, sustainably sourced materials, carbon neutral business.
Amazing. That's
And the
wonderful.
reference material that is in each of these books is so good.
Yeah, it's
so
super, super thorough. And just the ability to be able to wipe away things is so nice. Remember you play on paper and you're like erasing.
Oh yeah.
You like
Halfway
burn a
through the
hole through your
campaign,
stick.
you're like, I need a new sheet entirely.
Yeah, can't read any of this.
No.
Yeah. So this is awesome. I'm so excited. Thank you.
Maya sounds amazing
I'm so
and terrifying, and I'm so excited to unleash her into this story with a bunch of other weirdos.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know anything about other characters either, so I'm very excited. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I think even just putting the 4 of you into one room together is like, oh no.
More so than Shadows of Blood?
Yes.
Oh no.
Yes. And then once you guys are told you have to do this thing, or else this consequences, etc., and then you have to go out and actually do something on a timeline, it's going to be really interesting. I'm really looking forward to it.
Excellent. I can't wait. When do we start? We start in 3 weeks?
3 weeks.
3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks.
I know, it's so exciting.
Woo,
So
very
we'll be live, and then later on YouTube if people want to catch up with all of our fun adventures. But February 8th is our first game day. Next week, Strix characters hit the road,
Amazing.
and then Capri's game.
Amazing.
Also amazing. And then we're Burn the North.
Burn the North. It'll be great.
We're gonna liberate you from the Tinder Box.
I'm very excited.
Yay!
I will liberate myself from this set.
Very nice. And we're gonna take a short break so I can do some quick human things.
Yes.
And then we'll be back with 2 more characters.
Yay!
Hello, Roz.
Oh my goodness.
What's poppin'?
I'm so excited.
I am too.
I can't wait to learn more about your character. I've actually played a game with someone that might be very much this character, but how much have you modified since this pirate hit the seas?
Right. Okay. So barely any.
Okay.
Is the answer to that. I think there may have been like a level change, but maybe even not. I think the only. I just went over the character to quickly take a look at like his stuff, but I think he's got all the same ish. So I think it'll just be a matter of like figuring out what some of his like particular
This is a fun thing
because
because I think this might be the first time that someone is playing one of the one shot or not characters in a campaign. Yeah. And the difference between a character that you build for the campaign, we might put the same work into building their backstory or not, but now we're going to learn so much more about them than we would in a one shot where we actually TPK'd in that pirate.
Yeah. And that's, it's also funny because he's a legacy character of mine. And it's not the first time he's died. So like, I'm excited to bring him back.
I love it. Okay, I'm just gonna quickly make sure there's nothing popping up over here. Sam's in the chat with you guys. And then we're gonna open up your character sheet. Sam. And have a look at introduce.
Yes, my character's name is Cheyenne Ifriti. Cheyenne Ibn Afriti III Esquire, if you want to be fancy. And so sometimes he wants to be fancy. He is a drunken master fire genasi monk of the sailor, of the pirate background.
Okay.
Yes.
And so having a quick look at the sheet to start out with. So level 5, where we're going to level him up and then ask some questions. And over the next few weeks, continue perfecting these characters so that when we meet them leaving the Tinder Box, we'll know lots about them.
Indeed. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited to bring him back. He's a go-to character of mine whenever I want to have like a really good time. If I'm just like, oh, we're gonna have fun. Let's go.
We're gonna have fun. we're gonna have a good time. And I think one of my favorite things about it is that I told you guys to think about bringing a fire-based character who could have been convicted of a crime, and that's why you ended up in the Tinder Box.
I had him on deck. I didn't even wait.
You were like, I'm ready.
You mentioned it and said like fire-based. I'm like, and you knew monk because I only play monks, and I was like, oh, I got him, and I had him. And I
noticed he has reduced hit points already from probably the game we played with him.
From the last game we played. Yeah. I'll bring him back up.
And so he could dagger dart. Of course, that kind of stuff is in the inventory.
Yeah.
And then you're an expert with your monks. So I feel good about all of that kind of thing.
I think I may have also added another item in the inventory. I don't know if it's stuck or if I've equipped it or not, but I think sailors and pirate backgrounds and things like that get a club-like item. The I forget what it's called. The
belaying pin.
Yes.
Yes.
So I have one of those kind of made out of like a carved kind of wrought iron.
Nice.
Kind of thing.
So that stuff was all confiscated, of course.
Oh yeah.
And then also you've got bracers of defense. I'm going to let you add some more items, and then we'll find out what you get back.
Right.
When they send you on your
So
first mission.
I did hear about this, and this is going to be tough because he does have one item, his flask, and the flask is like it's a flask of infinite spirits, so it just like pours like very flammable, very potent sauce, if you will, nonstop. It is it's an item. Its actual name is Alice, and it's an item that is not only just like a random magical item that I made up or whatever. It's kind of near and dear to his heart. And the item is actually older than the character I'm playing. The second character I ever played was a drunken master monk who got flask named Alice that poured infinite ale. So this would have been in like 2011.
And do you have the idea that it got handed down from you from another pirate?
No, I believe that this version of the item was a gift crafted by his father and named after his mom.
Ooh, very important keepsake.
So it's very much like the cassette mixtape from Guardians of the Galaxy. It's like, if I don't get this back based on a roll, it isn't like, oh, I guess we go and I don't get it back. It's more like, oh, I'm gonna cause a fight until I get it back and then we go.
It's gonna be a thing. Yeah.
It's gonna be a thing.
Okay, I'm still gonna do the dice, but we're gonna find out. I love it.
Yeah.
I want to share. I'm opening up a picture of Altero, and I was just talking with Cheyenne about, if we zoom in here, her character is originally from the Sugar Islands.
Right.
But I was going to suggest to you, if we zoom out onto the world and move across here, that maybe your character is from the Ring Nations.
That is interesting.
So kind of in the middle where that crater is.
Yeah. I like the idea of Shaheen being a legacy character that, like, whose history is kind of always in a state of flux. So like, he might not have like a history of like being born in any one place, but he like washed ashore there and kind of like, and is like, well, time to start my life again because I forget just about everything that's happened up until now.
That's so interesting. I'm going to pop back to D&D Beyond because that inspires me to look at what you've written in, if you have yet, anything under, I'm just looking at features and traits, which is going to be related to your monk stuff, but then in your back description, you've got pirate as a background, but you haven't written in anything else.
Yeah.
So how old do you think your character is right now?
I know that my character looks pretty young because Genasi don't crack, but he's closer to his like 40s or 50s.
Okay.
Yeah. And
then occasionally just washes up on shore, forgetting a lot of what used to be the case.
Yeah, like hey, we had a TPK in the last one shot he was in. I don't know what world that took place in, or how, or when, but he's just what? Shit. So yeah. That's
has a memory of Namby Pamby slightly in the background.
Exactly. Yeah. He's like, were there goats? I don't.
And how do you see this fire genasi? Maybe you don't know entirely yet, but what did the appearance like for he him?
Yeah.
Okay.
He him. He. How do I put this? He looks like he used to be like hot in his 20s. And that's not to say that he isn't still attractive now, but like you could look in his face and say, oh, like you like fucked in your 20s a bunch, and things have like kind of slowed down since.
Okay. And so, how long do you think he's been in the Tinder Box for?
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, if he washed ashore, chances are it didn't take him long to get back up to his old.
Probably piratey ways.
Tricks, yeah. I mean, he loves the sea, right? I like the idea of a fire genasi who, is attracted to an element that like
that's really cool.
That kind of like actively hurts him. It's that line in Interstellar where they were talking about like traveling in a spaceship, and outside is like the void, the vacuum of death, and being like there were a lot of sailors and explorers who didn't know how to swim. Now he knows how to swim, but I think that the metaphor is it kind of still stands that like it's not his element, but he dives into it anyway.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I like that a lot, especially because he probably ends up in the water, and
yeah, a lot. You know, it makes his hair look not as good. Like it doesn't have that like embery underglow, and it's like dreadlocks or whatever, but once it dries, it starts to come back.
So we know he was doing a lot of piratey stuff. Do you want to roll some stuff about?
Yeah.
Some questions about? Yeah.
Because I left my backpack upstairs and didn't bring.
These ones are new.
And I know that they're not.
We can bust these
fiery,
open.
but we'll
yeah.
figure it
So
out.
I have some we can do questions about your character, and we can also do some things. I think you've got a really good handle on him, but let's try rolling some D100 tables and ask some questions and feel like, do we really know?
Yeah. I mean, I know about him, but I don't know a lot about what he's been up to since he's been here.
Nice. Okay, let's see how you do. Words.
Let's see how you do.
Let's see how you. Let's answer some questions that are like role play.
Okay.
Character questions. And then let's move on to some of the stuff about the crimes and stuff.
Yeah.
Learn more about them.
Okay.
Okay. So, D100, roll. Straight roll. I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah. That is 80.
Ooh. And the question is about your character. How does your character feel about receiving orders? Are they more of a leader or a follower?
Interesting. I think for him, it would be completely based on respect. He doesn't mind taking orders from someone he respects.
Nice. Okay.
But so for him, it becomes a peership, wherein everyone is assuming their role and someone has to be in charge. But if he doesn't respect the person in charge, mutiny.
I'm going to pop over to D&D Beyond on your pirate personality traits and see if that kind of relates, because some of those things are you're able to choose those when you're doing pirate stuff. So you've got a tavern brawl is a nice way to get to know a city.
Yeah.
Makes sense. You and Alice hitting the town. And then you enjoy sailing and new ports, new friends, flagons of ale, which I think super awesome for what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And then you put in as the ideal freedom, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Especially because we're going to start you out in the prison.
Yeah.
Bit hard.
Yeah.
And then the bonds in a harbor town, you have a paramour. Whose eyes nearly stole me from the sea.
Yeah. I mean,
just one. every harbor town.
Every harbor town
has one. And then
that might be why he's in
jail. As he stays moving. So then the flaw is once you start drinking first
have got to go. All right. Out the window, though, because I can hear him downstairs. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. Let's do another roll about a question we can ask you about your character as you and I are getting to know him a little better. So another straight D100 roll, and I'll ask another question about him.
That is 89.
Ooh, you guys and your big high rolls. I love it.
High roll.
What's your character's relationship with magic?
Ooh, well, he is magic. It's in his DNA. His class is about tapping into the suffused magic potential within all of us, and not in the way of spell slots and things like that, but focusing on ki or chi and that kind of inner potential. Also, his dad is an Ifrit, so he's fiery and I think magic is a big part of him, but he also doesn't think about it too much.
Yeah. Interesting.
When it has to come up, it comes up in the way of burning hands or.
I was thinking a bit about too, because I have to design the cells that you guys were each in, and as a monk, it's a bit different for your character. The way that your punches are so much more different from an average person, whether they have higher strength or not. So it's interesting what kind of cell you've been trapped in to sort of keep you separate from everyone else.
I mean, I'd imagine the Uncle Eero style.
Oh yeah.
Just keep everything out and he'll figure it out. Exercise with his own body weight. He's probably been in jail long enough that he's lost some of his bear gut, which he sees as a great shame.
Okay.
And he'll want some of that back once he's out.
Yep. Okay, I like that a lot. I think that'll be a really funny part about him, that he actually is probably the fittest he's been in a very long time.
And he hates it. But yeah, just the idea of the Uncle Iroh, like meek and meager in his attire, and then when the guard leaves, just takes off his shredded, just like starts exercising. You know, like he wants to keep up those.
And he chooses the clothing, especially like monk-wise. Have like big
like
plate armor waiting for him.
Right. No, but also like I designed him based on like a lot of Caribbean elements and like South American kind of elements and things like that. I wanted that diaspora in there also. So like his like fighting style might look like a mix between like capoeira and Chinese drunken boxing, and his attire would match in a way of like loose fitting attire, but it's not formal monastic robes. It's lots of color and splashes and things like that. And yeah.
What a fun, colorful character.
Yeah.
So one of the tables that I had everybody roll on was this 100 cultural quirks. So about where you're from. Mm-hmm. So if you roll your D100 again, we'll throw in something that you can, if you want to, you choose to incorporate into.
Spicy food is not a problem for him. I can say that without a roll. I rolled 5, right?
And
I
like the idea that you can also just bring tons of those, your own flavor into your character.
Yeah.
Oh, your people say "till cheese" instead of "goodbye," as a promise that they make to each other that they will get back to eating cheese.
How do you spell that?
Just T-I-L.
Till cheese?
Till cheese.
All right. Till cheese. That's a lot of fun.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
And then...
I might have to change that to pepper cheese, but
yeah,
I got you.
I like it.
Yeah.
And then, do you want to get a fortune from a fortune teller?
Oh, yeah.
Is he the kind of person who would go to a fortune teller?
I mean, it depends on what that fortune teller looked like, but...
I mean, if they were hot and they want to read your fortune.
Hey.
Okay, roll the D100 and you'll get one that you can take with you. We rolled a good one for Cheyenne's character.
He is an asshole. He does have like a few a ways to go. Like I don't want to make him flawless.
Has he been working on himself in prison, or just his body, just his abs?
Well, I mean, he hasn't been interacting with enough of the right kind of people to be able to be working on his personality, like the flaws in that. So yeah, but I mean, but otherwise, yeah. Abs. 34 is what I rolled.
Okay. And she told him, find the woman who gives birds their song.
Okay.
Okay, and he was like, maybe it's you.
Maybe it's you. I have got to go. I am so. I'll just lift the tent up back here.
And then I had everybody rolling on a thing they'll be looking for in their pockets when they get their stuff back. Obviously, you've got Alice.
Yeah.
So I'm going to leave that one out because I feel like this is such a dramatic thing about when you start to pat your pockets down, and we're going to roll dice to find out how much of a shitstorm this is about to become.
Yeah. It better be.
Better be there, right?
Better be there. Because it is a valuable item, but it's a very sentimental one, and it's not just tied to his character and his history, but it's also tied to his fighting style and things like that. Like a lot of his quirks and things like that in combat come from taking a sip and spitting out flame or pouring things.
It relates to so much of who he is, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be him and Alice.
Yeah, him and Alice.
Okay, roll another D100 because you've got a bunch of your pirate stuff figured out, and then this is a table for 100 villainous character traits.
Ooh, okay.
And we'll see if we can incorporate one to give you some extra.
I rolled 99.
Oh my goodness! It's a good thing that's not a botch roll. Be in trouble, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, interesting. You love to collect art.
Interesting.
I guess you can decide what that kind of means to you.
Yeah, I mean, like it could be like a trinket or a bauble, like for every port town I'm in, and I see that as high art. You know?
Yeah, that's that thing. And then I guess, do you want to tell people about, this reminds me of this place?
Right. Yeah, it's like
the stories of that.
I've been here. I had a little scorpion sculpture from here, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, you got tons of those little snow globes with scorpions in them.
It's neat.
It's such an interesting one that there's so many of the other character traits are about, being one of those stereotypical villain, bad guy types. But then a couple that are sprinkled in here are more about things that you love.
So, right, and that could also extend to, like, I guess, like, villainous is subjective, but certainly, like, something scoundrelly of, like, I like that and I collect them whether they're mine or not, like whether it's legal or not. Right?
And they're pretty things that you collect whether they're yours or not.
Whether they're mine or not.
Yeah. Is it better when they're not yours?
I mean, it depends. I mean, it's a short-lived rush. Like everything else in his life, right? Like alcohol and philandery, like it's all stuff that's like he's very here and now, and then it goes away, and then like he loses gaps of time in his life and then starts again. Like he's not making future plans. He just wants to be free to take actions in the now, right? That's what I would imagine.
What a character
we're
gonna have with us.
The way he died in my game at home is very much in line with that of like I'm going to make a choice now that matters to like other people, but he's kaputs.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. I also have some things that we can roll on, unless you are married to what your first and last crimes might have been.
I am not. Especially in Altero. Like, I don't know. Like, I've left that a blank slate of like what he's done here, other than he got back up to his old tricks and now he's in the box, right?
So that would be fun to roll for both of those. Like, what put you on this path of?
Right. What was my first crime back in the game in this new
Yeah, so this is just a D8, but we're going to roll it 3 times.
Okay.
Because we're going to start by finding out what was this a crime about.
Right. So D8. That is a 2.
This was a poisoning.
Oh, interesting. Alice.
Oh.
Drinking contest with someone who couldn't handle it. One thing led to another, yada yada. It is like I can actually look at the item in the inventory.
Oh, I'll pop over to there too.
Yeah.
This is in your inventory.
Yeah. It just let's see.
This is Alice, your flask of infinite spirits.
If the spirits are consumed by any humanoid creature other than a drunken master monk, they must make a DC 17, good number, Constitution saving throw. On a failed saving throw, the creature becomes drunk and suffers 1 point of exhaustion. On a successful save, the creature becomes tipsy, heals 1 HP. So yeah, I'd imagine it was a drinking game that went too far. I don't think it would be in his character to intentionally poison someone. Listen, sometimes people die.
People get old and die.
People get old and die.
In this case, not old.
No.
Let's find out who they were. Roll another D8. I've popped back over to my little spreadsheet with stuff in it here.
3.
Oh. A neighbor.
Yeah. So, a neighbor for someone who isn't particularly landed anywhere. Maybe he tried to settle down?
And then couldn't stay because...
Because of that. So he's like, hey, I gotta go.
And roll the D8 once more as we develop the story of this first crime.
Okay. I love this. But
Isn't this fun?
I don't know what tables you're on right now, but they fucking rule. Let's see here. 7.
7? Oh, the motive was loyalty.
Ooh.
You did this for someone else, or to
Yeah.
protect someone.
Or to protect someone. So maybe he was, maybe this person who got poisoned was harassing someone and I was distracting them with a drinking game.
Yeah, and it all went south.
And it all went south.
And you had to move.
Yeah.
Again.
Again and again. Again and again.
So I think I like the idea that maybe that was the first time that you were like, I'm on the run for the law and I can't stop.
Right.
And then it just got worse and worse, and it snowballed. You know, everywhere you go, you get a little farther across the line.
One thing I could probably consistently say about him is him being on the run from the law on land is awful for him. Like, it's probably, like, really bad. And he's like, well, I tried to settle down in a place. I tried to be landlocked and that kind of guy, and it didn't work out. So he kind of wound up back on sea and felt more open and free again. And, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you've been a pirate. You've been up to some serious shenanigans.
Yeah.
The law at your backs. Then you got caught. So we're going to start the process again and roll them up, because we're going to build out what this crime was that ended you into the Tinder Box.
Okay.
And the Tinder Box is a place where they put people away. No, they don't want to get rid of you because you're magical and special. But at the same time, you're not allowed near people, and they're only going to come for you if they need you.
Right. 4.
Oh, this was a violent robbery.
Right. Yeah, that sounds like some pirate shit to me.
Okay, and then let's find out, if you roll again, we'll find out the victim and some information about them.
Okay.
As we start to kind of build the story.
He never wants it to be violent. I will say that. He never wants it to be like a violent.
So this was just supposed to be.
Always someone trying to be a hero.
No. Who tried to be a hero?
Let's find out.
Oh no.
Let's find out. 5.
Oh, a blood relation of the criminal.
Oh. Another genasi?
Or maybe of someone else on the ship.
Aha. Okay.
You or someone else.
Yeah.
Because the criminals are all of you, the group of pirates.
Right. True. Okay. So it could be a blood relation. It could be like a kind of like a formal, like, chosen family kind of element. Maybe a fellow pirate tried to perform a coup in the middle of a raid. Right? Something like that.
What if, like, you think about the first mate, and who are you going to side between?
First fucking mate.
Right?
Yeah.
Or you have a lot of lady friends.
Right. Yeah. True. True. Yeah. True.
Was there a kid on the ship that looks a lot like you suddenly, and you're like, oh God.
Hey! I wouldn't kill him.
It got violent though.
On purpose. Yeah.
Right. Let's roll. I mean, we kind of know piracy motives, but the last one is the motive for the crime. Right. So something else was wrapped up into this moment that made it more complicated.
Right. The crime within it. I guess.
Maybe it'll relate to how we figure out who this blood relation
It was a 3.
So it's greed. It is greed.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So this was like a huge score.
Right.
And it was supposed to be simple.
Yeah.
No one gets hurt.
No one gets hurt. Someone got in the way. They got hurt either by my hand or someone under my orders. I found out that person was more than they seemed after they fell. Maybe I turned myself in.
So did you know that you thought you maybe were just surrendering to something more simple? That they would throw you in just the local authorities detention center, but instead
they put me in the Tinder Box.
And maybe someone organized that on purpose, that maybe they were like, this guy ends up here.
Yeah, at the wrong place at the right time, as it were.
Ooh, I'll let you play with some of that kind of.
Yeah.
Think about some of those things that you can weave into the story. If you see maybe the people who come to get you guys and put you together in a room, maybe you're going to recognize that person as you weren't supposed to maybe come here. Did your crime really justify the Tinder Box?
Right. Amanda Waller of it all, right? I know where your head's at.
And then let's level up to 8. And
Okay.
you level characters a lot, so you're probably feeling pretty confident, and you have a lot of monks across the levels. When you level to 8, are you going to take a feat, or are you going to? Because your ability scores, looking at your sheet here, I mean, you've got you've got high dex.
High wisdom, moderate charisma, high constitution.
I mean, maybe you do want to up charisma as you level.
Yeah.
Just in line with the
Aligned with
character you're
the
building. Or
character, yeah.
giving yourself a feat that does something that helps you out there as well.
Right.
And then I do want to throw at you to incorporate 2 greens, 2 blues. Although, because of Alice, maybe let's do...
Would you count?
Alice is technically a wondrous item, but doesn't come with a color that shows
Right,
up
because
in
it's
D&D Beyond.
because it's a custom-made
thing.
item.
Yeah,
Right?
I would say
didn't
maybe
attribute
counter as a blue, and then give yourself another. You've got the bracers of defense, so you can throw in 2 greens
Okay.
as you're working on playing with your character stuff,
Yeah.
and we'll find out what ends up back in your inventory when they get you guys together.
Okay.
Do you have an idea if you want to do a feat, or what do you usually do for your monks?
I normally go the feat route. I mean, it's all very character dependent. It all depends on where I would want to take the character. I honestly didn't think too far about it. I did see. I watched a video because I was out of work for a week, so naturally I watched a lot of D&D stuff on the internet. But I saw that they might be updating a few races and classes coming up in an upcoming book. And I saw that they have included updates to the genasi across the board. And one of the ones I saw pertaining to the fire genasi is they get like natural spells that they can do, like the cantrips, and then they can do burning hands once a day. And then I saw that they might be adding flame blade at a higher level as a spell to cast once a day. And as I really like that, so I might find some kind of feat that might allow me to do that. But otherwise, I wasn't thinking too much about it. So I guess in between a couple of green magical items, and I'll comb through the feats to see what I can do to make them a bit more charismatic and a bit more fiery and stuff, and see if I go feat or just and
you might want to play around with some things and see what it does to the scores.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I have a present for you.
Oh.
I have a present for you. Bum, 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 bum. The beautiful hero books.
Indeed.
I have these colors left to you.
Mm-hmm.
If anything is speaking to you.
I got my
Yeah. All right, and then just make sure that at the front you've got a beautiful cloth that comes with the book.
Ooh.
Because if you open up the first pages,
oh, that's really good.
I know,
it's got
beautiful.
the engravings.
I just want to make sure to post the link again in case anyone is new to the.
Oh, yeah.
Here's
yeah.
A marker.
Thank
oh my
you.
goodness! And so here you go, chat. Oh, Count Elise's purple, very rare. Okay. Thank you. Some good insight. Okay. So yeah, it's such a beautiful book.
Right size.
And so lovely. And if you have any questions for me as you continue working on your character, and I'll send you guys some more info as we go forward, but basically you have everything you need to know in terms of what your characters would know. You're stuck in the Tinder box. You don't know for how long. Someone's going to come to your cell and drag you into a room.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they'll try.
That'll be interesting. I think what happens for each of these characters when someone knocks at the door finally and, throws open that light and says, "You're coming with me."
Right. Well, I mean, he probably hasn't had anything to drink in a while, so he's probably not at his best.
And he's so healthy, god damn it.
Yeah. Oh, he hates it.
So sober.
It's funny too because I am probably gonna try and stay sober. Like I am gonna try and stay sober for 2022. Yeah, because normally when I play Shaheem, this is filled with the real deal, and bad things happen. Bad things happen. So yeah, I've had to slow down on that a bit, especially if I'm bringing him back and stuff.
Nice.
Like I don't want to fall back into that trap. So.
Well, I look forward to hanging out with this character.
Yeah.
And I release you. Ask me questions later. As I bring in the last player for this campaign.
That is for you.
Thank you. This is for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Shall I spray?
Yes, please. Let's get a little squirt. A little psh psh. And I'm going to pull up a character sheet here on D&D Beyond for my final player. Bum, ba, ba. Oh, I'm going to be clicking around in here, and then
thank you, Roz.
Violet, thank you. Send me questions if you have any.
I will,
and we'll keep dishing about them.
Thank you.
Okay, Matt.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is gonna be crazy. You guys are crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
All right.
I said, bring fire criminals, and you did not disappoint. And I want to hear about your character, Astrid, who you've already leveled up to 8. You're roaring, ready to go. I'm going to open up her character sheet.
Roz was like, burn the north. We're going to have a fire thing. And within about an hour, I had my character rolled to 8. So she was like, we're not rolling.
Oh, we're switching up. Okay, well, while we swap over, I'm just going to open up Astrid's character sheet. And I see a fallen Asmar. Oh, Bard Warlock. So you're our only multi-classer, or dual-classing here. And she, her?
Yep.
Okay. And then, a -1 strength.
Yep.
Bold. Bold. And then super duper high charisma.
Yeah, well, she's multi-class bard and warlock. So
I love a bard lock.
Yeah, bard lock. That's great.
Whoa, look at that AC. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, she's a little squishy.
Does she have boots of displacement?
She does not have any boots of displacement. I haven't picked her green and blue things yet, but
Okay.
I figured I'd just do that later so that...
Do you want to tell me a bit about her then?
Sure. So she is obviously bard and warlock. She was raised in a cult that is dedicated to the god Polzin in our world, which is an
I'm just going to flip over to we've got our,
Oh, okay.
because I see it, okay, yep.
Yes. Which is an ascended dragon god of greed, corruption, and hedonism. And so she comes from a cult that worships that particular god and grew up in an environment of hedonism. And to the extreme of, like, a lot of it's actually sadism, but the cult is more known to the world as got to check my notes here. What I call it? The Order of something or other.
I like that I've got Cheyenne's family from the League of Temperance, where she grew up and rebelled against, and then your character from a fanatic cult background.
Order of the Unfettered Soul.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna open up in D&D Beyond in your description. Okay, so yeah, you've picked cultist.
Yeah, the background is specifically Cult of Rakdos. So this is loosely similar to that in that this Order of the Unfettered Soul is how the world knows about this cult. Like, they don't really know that it's a cult dedicated to that. They more think that it's just sort of a loose assembly or club of entertainers and merchants specializing in sensory pleasures, whatever that means.
I like to pet soft blankets.
All along the lines. So people, that's what they're mostly known as, which is why she was raised as a bard in the College of Whispers. Because while they're doing this, there's a lot of people, powerful people, that like to do sketchy things, and they can bribe them and blackmail them and whatever. So
she was born into
sort of a little
life
bard
of crime.
Spy. Yeah, and then like 18 or 19, she left and went to pursue her great pleasures in life, which are really manipulating people. She likes to work her way up to a position beside of somebody of power and just corrupt them. She's based on Wormtongue in a lot of ways, and
okay.
Yeah, but she's neutral, not evil. She's chaotic neutral. So what she likes is the corruption. She doesn't really care what direction that goes in. Like, if she's with a ruler that is particularly like noble or good, she'll corrupt them to be evil. If she's with somebody that's like a despot already, she'll corrupt them to actually be better. She just likes manipulating people to be different than they are on their own. And she's an arsonist.
I did tell you guys you had to be fire criminals.
So early in this, she made her pact with, I believe she's got the Pact of the Arch.
Yeah, I'm going to flip over to your Warlock features here and scroll down. So, yeah, otherworldly patron, a fiend.
Yes. Yeah, so she struck a deal with the devil in some respects and became a warlock, so that, and that's where she does most of her fire stuff from. So she tends to portray herself as a bard to gain entry to a court or whatever, and then it's very charismatic and manipulative, so gets up to the ruler, does her thing, and all the while she's burning. She's committing arson all over the place. And then when people start to get like too close to figuring out that it's her, she moves on to the next kingdom and does the same thing.
So, interesting. I'm going to flip over to some of my tables and ask you some questions about her. And hopefully this will help us all get to know her better. So let's just start with some general roleplay character questions.
Okay.
So roll for the D100. You can do your own dice or mine.
Well, these aren't my dice. These are actually Trevor's dice, because I didn't realize that I was supposed to bring dice. Even though this morning you were like, do you have your dice? It still didn't. Whoops. I was down here watching Alain do his thing, and I was just like, oh, crap.
Okay, so general D100 straight roll, and I'm going to ask you some questions, and we're going to get to know Astrid.
72.
72. So, who in a traveling party would Astrid trust to keep a secret?
Nobody.
Nobody. Does she make friends easily? Fake friends, I guess, right?
People think she makes friends easily.
Okay.
She sort of considers them friends, but has, there's no loyalty involved.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you think how long do you think she's been in the Tinder Box? She's in her 40s, but as an Asmar, looks younger probably.
Yeah, she's around 45, but, Asimar lived to like 160, So I figure she probably looks about 30-ish, early 30s. I think she's probably been in there for a few years.
And I was asking Alain the question, but like working on yourself, like emotionally as a person, or like just trying to survive. What do you think this character would be like as they're trying to persist?
She would be a model prisoner and spending as much time as she can trying to get in with the guards and just get preferential treatment, really. Yeah.
Model prisoner.
Yeah, I mean...
Is she trying to look for a chance to escape, or is she just going to serve out her sentence?
I don't think she really expects there to be a chance to escape, but if she ever had one, she would take it.
Okay. Roll the D100s again. Let's learn some more.
All right. Yeah. I think she's just like, well, I'm here. I can be a dick and get stuck in solitary or just kept unconscious. Or I can just be nice and then I get stuff. So.
Yep. I see that Trevor posted a comment on Twitch saying that you had commented after playing Senno that maybe you wouldn't play another Warlock.
Yeah, but this is a Warlock bard, and I love playing bards. So the fact that a Warlock can only cast like 2 spells or something doesn't matter because I got all my bard spells.
Well, I feel like as Warlocks get higher level, they're more interesting, so...
Yes, but I'm only level 4 of both of those things.
Good point.
Yeah.
Okay, what was your number?
49.
It was almost gone from your storage slot.
Yeah, I had already moved them, and that was a bad idea.
What colors do you associate with this character?
Uh,
If I pull up your character sheet, you've posted a picture of her there, right?
yeah, I did a Hero Forge picture. So she's got like light blue, gray skin, and kind of black hair with a purple streak. And her outfit tends to be red and gold. She dresses very much like a bard, because that's what she presents to the world. Oops. But, you know, likes fire, so...
I'm going to just pop in and look at the spells that if you put some stuff in. So you've got a lot of fire-based magic spell stuff that you're going to focus on.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Roll me up another D100, and then we'll ask one more question. And then we're going to move on to some other things about her. Okay, I'm popping over to my sheet again.
11.
11. Okay, so here's another question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Describe your character's current relationship. Describe your character's current relationship with the player character sitting to your right. So these would just be other prisoners. So let's re-roll because like we're not in that kind of scenario at the moment. And you guys also don't know each other.
87.
I've been up in the 80s quite a bit. Oh. Do you have a Arcana Tarot card that represents your character?
I'd have to know more about tarot cards to answer that.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to ask you the question before this one then. Do you consider yourself a hero or a villain or something else?
She doesn't consider herself anything.
Does she see the world as there are heroes or villains at all?
No. There's no good or bad. There's just people that are doing what they want to do. You know, whether they want to do good things or bad things. Ultimately, everybody's acting out of self-interest because, you know, if you're doing good things and you're like, but it's so rewarding, so you're doing it because it makes you feel good. This is how she thinks. Not how I think at all.
No. Where in the world are you from? I'm just opening up the map. Have you thought about that?
Yes, she was raised in Fulpe.
Oh, okay.
Down in Mesquite, so like right kind of at the equator. And
so I'm just going to zoom in and people can kind of see where that is. Okay.
And then once she left there, she's lived all over the world. So wherever there was a ruler with some space that she might be able to take up.
Fun. And do you think that she's So she's really well traveled because she has to kind of stay moving. Do you think she is stuck to the main continent of Ordain, or do you think that she's been just all over everywhere?
Probably mostly on Ordain, but like she would have been a fair amount of places. Like she's probably been to most of the continents.
Okay.
You know, whether that was like as an envoy for one of these rulers, because often, you know, good way to work yourself up is like be an ambassador from one kingdom to another and then just sort of make the transition to, oh, now I'm here.
I like it. Okay, so now I have a D100 table of just cultural quirks of where she's from that if you want, you can incorporate into the character. So roll D100. And let's see if this is something that you want to go with.
16.
16. You burn selected herbs or incense to ward away evils. Particularly, they did for pests that would plague fields.
I mean, yeah, that sounds legitimate. What herb? If they're warding away pests, we'll say citronella.
But maybe she likes incense if she had access to it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see why she wouldn't.
Incense
is expensive and therefore good. But
oh, that's how she feels about stuff. Okay.
Well, because it's status, right?
So, would she ever go to a fortune teller and get a fortune? Because I have a D100 table for some fortunes.
She wouldn't, but on her own. But like, you know, if she was hanging out with friends that wanted to go, she would totally go.
Okay, and roll the D100 and let's see what she was told. And of course, she takes away her own belief and everything, right?
Yeah. 89.
Lay not your head in the barn animal's bed, for the headsman soon calls.
I mean, that just sounds like good advice for life, right? Like, yeah.
Okay, and then I'm giving everybody something that they had in their pockets that's not just your blue and green items that you're looking for, or your armor, or your other, like, weapons and stuff that you want to get back when they pull you from the Tinder Box and send you out on this deadly mission to kill a dragon. But something else that was in your pockets that you're looking for. So roll the D100 again. And if you have something more related in your backstory that you've already incorporated that you want to use, that's okay. But otherwise, we'll give you
49.
Ooh, baby. You are going to be searching through your pockets for a magical anti-pickpocket snap trap.
Yeah. That sounds like a great thing to have when you're traveling the world.
It has needle-like teeth and will turn the thief's hand bright purple as though it's been dyed.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like it.
A special item to her. That's funny that someone's just going to have it stuck to them. She's like, you son of a bitch. Give me my shit back. And do you want to get a villainous character trait, or do you feel like you know her so well that you don't need to add anything else in?
Well, when I was looking through the villainous character traits, I didn't like a lot of them. So I'm gonna say no. I know her.
You know her, and you know her. You know her flaws. And I'm just gonna pop back to your D&D Beyond character sheet to see which one you picked from the into your characteristics and personality traits. So you've put a personality trait. You can't stand it when things are predictable. You like a little chaos. You derive pleasure from corrupting others, which makes sense. Ideals are hedonism and freedom, and near bonds. I want to be better at my chosen form of performance. What instrument is her?
Well, she plays a flute, but I mean, her real chosen form of performance is the
Art of
manipulation
corruption?
and yeah, like
So she's a compulsive arsonist. So is she trying to not burn everything when she gets somewhere? Or is she like, don't light it on fire?
No, she's fully planning on burning things.
Does her own arsonist tendencies get in the way of other things she wants to do, though?
Yeah, what got her put in the Tinder Box. Before that, it hadn't really gotten in the way, because she always was pretty good about keeping herself distanced from things and moving on before people got too suspicious. But, it'd gone quite well for 20 years or so, and she'd gotten a little lax, and, her last fire went a little bit out of control, and she did not realize that people were already onto her, so she kind of got caught in that one that was more than she anticipated, and had more casualties.
Have you figured out where that was? Or are you still pondering?
I'm still pondering that.
Okay. So you have a really good handle on the crime that got her busted.
Yeah.
It was an actual, arson, fire, people died.
Yeah. I mean, lots of people have died from her fires.
Oh, but but in the story of this one that got her
she's
caught.
Usually like, whatever. There's probably nobody in the building right now. Like, she doesn't care about people dying, but also is not interested in killing people unless it's of advantage to her in some way. So, it was sort of accidental in that it was more people than she had, budgeted for, I guess.
Okay. Do you want to roll
acceptable losses
on her first crime then?
Sure.
That's what you can handle on her when she got busted on. So we'll start with a D8. And we'll find out what kind of crime, started her out on this road
5.
against the law. This is, extortion.
Yeah, that sounds right.
As we build the story, roll the D8 again, and we'll put a victim to it. Then we'll kind of build a bit of a story together.
Cool. I mean, she was probably 8 when this happened. She was raised to extort people, so it makes sense.
Okay.
I rolled another 5.
Okay, I'm going to switch it up because I feel like I've had a lot of that same number come up on this one.
Cool.
Or roll again. Yeah.
4.
It was a friend.
Okay.
Yeah. So she was quite a bit younger than she is now.
Yeah, she probably, was out there getting to know local wealthy merchants, as her assignment, and probably got in there through, their kids. And, it was her first time, so I think she wasn't as emotionally distanced from people yet. So it was actual friends with the kid and family. And then extorted them.
Roll a D8 for what the motive is behind this whole. You think that it's greed, just greed, but there's something else.
3.
Roll again.
8.
Madness. And maybe it wasn't hers, but maybe the
noble's going senile. And trying to hide it from the world by, sort of the eldest children doing a lot of the, and mother doing a lot of stuff to the public, with the public, and kind of limiting his exposure. But, people have been suspicious and quietly gossiping about it, so the Order wanted to get in there and get some useful information.
So do you think that from her first time having been she's either kind of caught by the authorities there, or did she just get away? Did she serve some time? Did they catch her?
I mean, she
just
was
escaped?
8, so she didn't serve time.
Okay.
But, I think there might have been some bribes involved in making it go away. it's in an area where the Order of the Unfettered Soul would have a fair bit of pull.
Do you think she learned from there that money makes problems go away?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it does. Like, especially in a feudal world.
So let's just send her out on all of the, the life that became hers to take from others and move on. And then just burn everything.
Well, that's just her.
Oh, okay.
That's not part of the cult. That's just probably part of why she left.
Yeah. So the cult does not feel favorably towards her.
Well, the cult's like, it's what you like doing. Just go somewhere else and do it. They're about doing whatever makes you happy, regardless of consequences to other people. So we're like, awesome. Be an arsonist somewhere else. You're going to make it difficult here.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. I think you have such a good handle on her, and you're feeling pretty good about the prep for the character, getting her ready. I'm just looking into... did you take a feat?
No, I
did ability score improvement.
Ability score, because I did not roll great. So I needed all the ability score improvements I could get.
And looking up here, only the 1 minus, which isn't so bad.
Yep.
And then, figure out your blues and greens. And then we can have a look at, what you get back and what you don't in the moment when we pull you all out of your cells and have that first big meeting at the Tinder Box. And then one of the other things I thought we could do together as, co-creators of Altero is have a look at Telga. And then if I kind of just zoom in on this map again, it's up in these upper islands here where the Tinder Box is up to the very far north. And of course, this is one of the maps where we've adjusted. It doesn't look as white and icy as it is, but it is the far north. And
that's an old map.
Yeah, it's been adjusted to fit on the globe properly and where the continents.
No, that one hasn't.
Oh, right, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Goes north. So we've been doing a bunch of brainstorming on what's going on around here. Like at the prison, there's super high cliffs, and there's the Sea of Storms, and the actual getting in and out of this place is really difficult.
Yeah, it's it is cold, rough water. So like, unless you're in a fairly good-sized ship, if you're not going to get back to land in like a dory, you'll probably, and if you go in the water, you're dead. It's cold. It's going to sap your energy really quickly. Yeah. So it's not very easy. There's a reason she doesn't expect to escape.
And we were brainstorming a bit about how we transport prisoners to and from the prison, because it probably takes months by ship.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not months, but...
Well, it depends, because there is a portal in Reiko, so you can take portals to Telga, and then only need to sail the last little bit if you have access to it, because it's essentially an international prison. So even though anybody can put their people there, even if they're not allies, so not everybody has access to the portal network. And partially because all portals go to Portalis, so you can't just go from wherever you are to Reiko. You have to go through Orleana to do it.
Yeah, and the queen there, she's really firm about access to the portals.
It costs a lot of money. So often it is done just by sail or dirigible to near there. And the last little bit always has to be by sail. Mm-hmm. But
And we're going to need to get from that prison over to Telga because we're going to start out in the wilderness itself, in a small community there that's a Goliath town that's like the last port before you go farther north, where you're very likely to run into year-round ice.
Yeah.
So Suvik is the name of this place that we'll be heading. And some of you would have heard of it, or at least, been mentioned to you while you've been at the Tinder Box. But of course, you can't see it from the island, so.
No.
And I think there's other things. I'm just going to pop back to my sheet about Telga. We talked a little bit about Reiko, which is that capital where there is a portal. And then, did we want to talk about the monster whaling?
Sure.
It's kind of a fun thing around Telga that we share about.
The main ships that would be sailing in the Sea of Storms, because there's a lot of sailors have died doing that, and so it's essentially whaling, but it's not whales. They're sort of kind of a mix of prehistoric things and whales.
We've been looking at all sorts of crazy things.
Oh yeah, like early whales before they lost their legs and stuff are super interesting. The main thing it's inspired by is, what's the name of it? It's from the Cambrian times, and it's super cool, and it's kind of got its face and antennas, but then just instead of like one set of fins, they're all along the side, almost like a centipede of fins.
Yeah, I wanted something that looked not insectoid, but there was just something about the way that shape is, but then in a sea monster form.
Yeah.
And then we liked the idea that around Telga they've got these, the blue Dyron tree, which is really hard to find and very valuable. But then something else really cool about the space, where why would people be coming in and out, and what's making it a place worth the Stormlords actually trying to claim small kingdoms to stick it out here, but there to be something really valuable, and there's this monster whaling.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. Yeah, so it's this mix of the. I have to look up what it is. I keep thinking hallucigenia, but that's not it. That's a different Cambrian.
And I imagine there's probably normal whaling and whatever around there, but the very valuable, high-risk adventure is to get the materials and components from these monsters.
Anomalocaris, if you want to look it up.
Let me put it on screen. How do I spell this?
Anomalocaris. I believe they're actually from the Burgess Shale, because I think there's a couple different species that they've found.
I have to go to images.
But the one that I know best is Anomalocaris canadensis. So. But yeah, so weird mix of that, and we did some looking up of like plesiosaurs, and those types of things, and early whales ancestors.
I like it.
Which one was the one?
I forget the name of it too. We were looking at all these pictures, but I was just like, yes, more legs, more legs. And I don't know if we're going to need one in this campaign, because we're going to hit land pretty fast, because we got to go kill a dragon. But it'd be super cool to someday have a pirate adventure out with these guys.
Mm-hmm. Basilosaurus is one of them.
That is also cool.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you want to share about? Because we've been doing a bunch of finishing up Telga research and prep in order to.
Have you talked about the inspiration for the like actual landscape and setting and stuff?
I think I mentioned Baffin Island, but we could look at what's really cool about Baffin Island is there is actually a bunch of amazing mountain ranges.
Yeah.
And just valleys. And they're, whoops, excuse me while I can't spell. But look at this landscape. It's just incredible. Oops. This is gonna just take me to the wrong site here. Let me scroll.
Yeah. In particular, one really cool thing there in their mountain ranges is Mount Thor, which is actually the world's tallest vertical cliff. It's super cool. Do you have a picture of it?
We're looking at it up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just cool.
Mountains, tundra, lots of icy kind of areas.
And landscapes that we don't get a chance to ever really visit or travel to a lot of the times.
Yeah.
And what it must be like to be out there, either making your, society or town work, but also leaving you guys out there is going to be so fun.
Yeah. And the actual island that the Tinder Box is set on is based on an island in Svalbard, which is Norway?
I think
by
so.
Norway. But it's a chain of islands in the Arctic. There's lots. Back when I was a scientist, I worked with microbes that live in glaciers and cold environments. So there's lots of that kind of research done in Svalbard. So it was a fun time to reach back into that history and be like, oh, let's look for stuff there.
Yeah. Okay, is there anything else about Astrid that you want to talk about or have questions for me about before we unleash your brain to finish up the last few moments of character prep over the next few weeks?
No, I think I've got a pretty good handle on it.
Amazing. Yep. So we're going to need minis.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to need game boards, which I'm meeting with the team about this week. Very exciting. We've got all that stuff in prep. I'll meet with Murdoch, and we'll have some cool, awesome inspired sounds and music to go along with the campaign and all of your abilities. So for all my players, I'll let them know, but if you have any unique sounds or music that's related to your character, I'm sure our good friend Cheyenne, playing Maya Immortal, will have some themes that she would like to play for her character. But everybody can think about it for themselves as well. Mm-hmm. Things that come up as we move your character through the story.
I mean, my character plays a flute, so that would make sense.
Flutes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then all the other things that kind of come together to make up one of our amazing tabletop experiences. Mm-hmm. Thank you for coming by.
No problem.
And working with me. And thank you to our whole crew who are here today, helping us out with Session 0. Sam's in the chat. Alex is upstairs. We've got Dylan. We've got Owen. We've got, oh my God, everybody. I'm gonna miss everybody's names. And I just want, okay, bye. I'm gonna say thank you so much for everybody. And if you've been joining us in the chat, I don't know if we're rating out. I'm looking over here. If we are, please go give them some love. Say hi from us at A Filthy Lot, and we will see you on A Filthy Talk this Thursday, and then ready to roll on Friday.